Hello everyone, this is Khila again for Pets 3 now of our Let's Play Dungeon Crawl Stone Soup, playing as a Spriggan Enchanter of Hep. I got some feedback from the last time I played, and I have removed the percentages from the corner as well as the streak count. I will bring them back once we actually have a streak to count. Now, when we left off, we just entered the lair. We were doing pretty decent, had a couple hairy situations, but were overall doing pretty well. So, let me just get my bands here, remember everything we have. We got blow diamonds, some needles, wands. Anything useful for us to memorize right now? Pre-patch I'd probably go for animate skeletons, however it has since been nerfed, so skeletons now are only temporary instead of sticking with you the entire floor. It's still worth it if you're going down the route already of necromancy, however to train up just for it is a little dicier now. Talking about that, how are my own skills doing? We're training some dodging and fighting, trying to stay alive, and stealth, because I personally never turn stealth off when I'm playing as a Spriggan Enchanter. So, I guess without further ado, let's jump in. And immediately run into a ghost. Journeyman. Gargoyle Fighter. What do they have? They have a couple spells, Slow and Confuse. They are immune to poison, resistant to fire and cold. Apparently it looks harmless. I'm not sure I believe that. It can regenerate quickly. It can hit for 10 damage plus a dagger drain, so I estimate probably somewhere in the neighborhood of 16 or 17 damage per hit, but only has about 30 HP, so we can probably confuse it and just kill it that way. What's our confuse odds? 17%. Maybe we can't just confuse and kill it that way. What will we do about this? We got paralysis that we can use. And it noticed us. So, let's just spam confuse on it. Oh, well, that was lucky. Not gonna complain though. And that was taken care of. Now, most fights when you have a 17% chance, they're not gonna go that well. Now, this is my favorite way to deal with Hydras in the game. Don't. Just walk away. The red X of exclusion is by far the best bet you have against Hydras when you're playing a squishy character, even if you're playing a non-squishy character. Hydras are not a joke and not something to just lightly trifle with. A Hydra could easily one-shot us, with probably a couple heads still left over. Dodging is at 21 now. We're gonna get that up to about 27 or so. Can I get an angle on you? Yeah, I can. Which is just a personal number that I somehow gained. That's about the number where I'm feeling safe enough going into some of the later parts of the game. Later parts of the mid-game anyways. Once I get past the mid-game, I'll of course prefer to get that much higher again, but as it is, be fine. Got a pack of blink frogs. Don't be fooled by just seeing one. We got a pack. So we're gonna deal with this way with some poison needles to attract them to us, hopefully one by one. Nope. Got a pack. That's unfortunate, but we'll have to deal with it. Now, we could opt to just fight them, as we did. Typically, that's a riskier situation, but with Hep, I feel safe enough as our ancestor is pretty strong at this point. Playing with Kiku or Ash, I'd probably not just straight up fight them, but as it is, we got lucky and managed to have Hep as our god. Spiny frogs are also not a joke. They hit for a lot of damage. can see there, for up to 26 damage and poisoning. The poison amount that it does is also a pretty significant amount. It was scary. That could have gone actually pretty badly, but it didn't, so we'll just pretend it never happened and move on. And that's it for this floor. Let's go down. You're near starving. Oh, eat. Don't forget to eat. As a SpEn, I don't know if I mentioned it or not. SpEns are vegetarians. Most species in the game can just kill a creature and eat its corpse. As a SpEn, you don't have that option. You have to eat fruits and breads that you find across the dungeon. Okay, we got Yak Pack. Those are also fairly dangerous. I'm actually going to come up here first and get that amulet. I'm actually going to identify it instead of putting it on because it could be something bad. It wasn't, but it's good. And I just noticed we have a bunch of identify scrolls, so let's identify some of these potions. Haste and Heal Wounds. Those are easily the two best potions we could have found. Yeah, let's ID those two. Fear and Teleportation. So, we're doing fine. Right back to where we were. How are we gonna deal with those yaks? There's a question for you. How many's in the pack? Probably 4, judging by how much area we've already uncovered around them. I think we can probably just confuse them one by one. What else do we got? Dazzling Spray would actually make really quick work of them. Oh, there was 3. I was 1 off. And they didn't even wake up. That was Dungeon Crawl Stone Soup equivalent of a massacre. We got Basilisk. Basilisks do what they do in every game ever and can stun you and turn you to stone if you're not careful. In this case, SpEns get natural magic resistance as they level up, so we don't need to worry about it that much. It's looking at a 12% chance to stun us, while we got a 66% chance to confuse them. And that is how odds work. If you want something to happen, it doesn't happen. And so, we get our ally to attack while we watch in the background being stone. That dealt with it nicely though. It ran away apparently. It didn't actually die. And that right there is why I don't play XCOM that much anymore, because I take chances and end up dying terribly as my 99% chance to hit misses, and then I get one shot for a 1% chance. Okay, those guys woke up though. Dazzling Spray? Nope, I'm gonna hit one of them. Now we can get 2 of them. That's decent. Dazzling Spray not only does damage, but it gives enemies a little debuff there. You can see it with the eye. That debuff basically makes it so that you're the equivalent of invisible. They get the same debuffs that they normally do as if you were invisible. But we're out of magic, so I'm gonna retreat out of this fight. Look for a staircase up. There's one on the right there, so we will retreat to that and run away and reset the fight for a later date, hopefully when we're in a more stable situation and get a little luckier with our rolls. That is the glory of playing SpEn Enchanter. You have the luxury to just run away even mid-fight. There are a lot of blink frogs on this floor. Okay, as you can see, we got ahead of our ancestor, so I'm gonna cast Recall Ancestor. He's dead. Okay. Must have died in that fight. So, until he comes back, I'm going to avoid those blink frogs. Put a little exclusion on them all. And okay, he's back. We can fight these now. Khila 2, help me. Dazzling Spray is also kind of weird in the way that the chances of blinding the enemy work. It's doesn't actually work off of magic resistance, unlike basically every other hex you got in the game. Instead, it operates off of the enemy's hit dice. Hit dice is effectively the same thing as enemy level in Crawl. I'll just confuse this guy and stab him. Stab him. Die. There we go. Heal up. And we can now remove those exclusions because we're no longer so scared of just doing that fight. We got a lot of poison needles though, so we might use them here. They nerfed poison needles in actually a couple ways over the last few patches. The first way is they now actually scale with your throwing skill. Previously, they always did full damage no matter what, however the accuracy was affected by your throwing skill. However, now the accuracy and the damage are both affected by your weapon skill. The other way, and in my opinion more substantial, is enemies who used to get hit by needles and woken up would never shout. However, now they can. This means that if you're using them to aggro a pack monster, if you did it before, you could hit, say, an Urk, and it would cause them to wake up and start immediately chasing after you. I'm wondering. However, now when you do it, they shout and it ends up getting into a hairy situation. Talking about hairy situations, we're in a hairy situation. We have a couple options. We can fear and we can teleport. I think teleport might be too slow as we need out now, so I'm gonna use a fear and get everyone to run away from me as I run to the stairs and heal up again. We are in a state now of probably just having to stair dance all of them. Stair dance means that you go downstairs then immediately come back up, only grabbing one or two enemies. However, I'm going to go down a different staircase just because I know that they're all right there waiting for me. There's Herald. Herald is a unique. They have a couple spells, Bolt of Fire and Blink, and also very tanky, 76 HP. They also have throwing nets that they have that can really mess you up, as they'll prevent you from moving. And losing movement with a SpEn especially is being crippled very much, as you lose your greatest resource, which is your speed. Keep hitting the vertical bar instead of apostrophe to switch weapons. Numlock goes on. And then we'll bring one upstairs, kill them, and then go back down the other set of stairs. Oh, that's a Komodo dragon. It's also a fairly dangerous enemy that I don't want to have to deal with, so I'm gonna get my partner in crime there to deal with them, as I run for my life and just run circles around it. There we go. Now I confused them. Just because it's confused doesn't mean it will always miss. So I'm still gonna keep a safe distance away, because that could definitely kill me at the level of HP I'm at right now. But my ally there, Khila 2, managed to kill it for me, so we are now good to go down the set of stairs. And immediately bring us to Herald again. What's our chances to just confuse you, Herald? 31. I've definitely taken worse odds. There we go. He's now confused and will be dispatched with fairly simply. There we go. As I said before, SpEns in my opinion are one of the strongest duelist classes they can easily take on just about any enemy in the game one-on-one. However, it's when you get large groups of enemies that things become dangerous. They don't have much in the form of AoE. They have that little dazzling spray, but as you can see, it doesn't do the most damage. It's not a fireball, it's not an axe cleaving or anything like that. And Spriggans definitely do not have the defenses to just tank their way through a fight. Defenses are actually improving on that topic. We're now up to 50 HP, which is pretty nice amount for a Spriggan. And 25 evasion, which is almost to the 27 I want at. Stealth is still being stealth and is up to 19.7 now. For those who just joined me and don't know what crawl is, in Dungeon Crawl you can go up to a max level of 27. Why exactly is 27? I'm actually not sure, but 27 is max level, and that's for your own character level as well as all of the individual skills. All of them are capped at 27. That porcupine did a little more damage than I was expecting it to. And there's our first lair branch. We got Spider's Nest, which I'm kind of thankful for actually. I prefer Spider's Nest over Snake Pit when playing Spriggan, specifically because if I can find invisibility, it will be far more useful in the Spider Nest instead of Snake Pit. And yeah, as I was talking about spawning frogs being dangerous, I just took most of my HP in poison. I'm gonna use that, get them to back off. Okay, while you're distracted with them, that means I can take them out. You have them confused, so I'll just move in for the stab. Whenever you can, it's best for you to get the kill, because if your ally gets the kill, you get reduced EXP for it. I'm assuming it's still the same for a HEP ally. I know it's definitely the case for summons, which is why summoners were nerfed heavily. They used to be one of the strongest backgrounds in the game, however, they were very, very tedious to play, and the developers' philosophy is highly against tedium. So they did what they had to do to remove a lot of the tedium, which also removed a lot of the power from them. I'm gonna try to limit the amount that I'm gonna interject my opinions into stuff and try to keep things relatively fact-based. I might do a release at some point in time where I just do a more casual playthrough and just spew off on a bunch of rants, but we'll save that one for a later date. That was a much easier floor than we've been greeted with, hopefully. Between having to red X a bunch of things and having to run away from hailed and blink frogs, our first two levels weren't all that pleasing. And this is a perfect position. Just stay right there, ally. Oh, he died. Is there a better place we can retreat to? Probably retreat to there. They can attack us 2 at a time here, however if I stayed there they could have eventually wrapped around and surrounded me and I'd have even more after me there. I'm not actually gonna confuse them because I'm kind of worried about them wandering off and me having to chase them. That's the Turper Snare. We want away from the Turper Snail. Turbo snails slow us, and as I said, speed is your greatest ally as a SpEn. Anything that slows that speed has to be exterminated. So I'm gonna check the perimeter and make sure there's no other enemies that's gonna come out of nowheres while I'm engaging with the snail. It doesn't look like there are, so I'm gonna take that as an invitation to start fighting. Now, if there were enemies, I'd have to fall back and search for a better location to deal with it. But as we're relatively alone, look safe. We have a hornet over there. Let's go deal with it. Oh, nope. We also have a death yak over there. Let's not deal with it. Death yaks are one of the more dangerous things in Qual. They have insanely high damage and insanely tough, as well as being a pack monster. But we also got a Hydra this way. We might be first eventually to have to pick a battle that we don't want to be in. We got a wing. Let's put it on, see what it is. Do I have any remove curse? That's a good question. Yeah, I do. Let's just put it on, see what it is. Cursed inaccuracy. That's what I was suspecting. Drop it. Just a black bear. That's easy enough to deal with. Do we want to explore more? Okay, we only have one upstairs in sight, so I'm gonna go down the other ones and see if they lead us further away from those guys. That would be a no on that count. So let's check out the last one. No. So it looks like this might be all we're doing unless we want to try to engage either one of those threats. If we were to engage, how many downstairs do we currently see? Oh, we actually see all the downstairs, so chances are we actually cleared most of the floor then. I'd say it looks about two-thirds cleared. So I'm not gonna risk anything and just go downstairs. We might end up eventually being a little behind on EXP, however, that shouldn't be that big of a deal. EXP isn't the hardest thing in the world to come across. We are gonna put one more level into strength, get to 8, and now we can start worrying about dex and int. Probably gonna be dumping most points into int, just so we can keep our spell. Oh, shoot, moving too fast, didn't see him. What's our chances to confuse you? 31. That's actually pretty decent for this point in the game. I'm gonna try to deal with you. Hey, get out of my way, please. Hey, that's a nice dazzling spray. Hey, that was a good dazzling spray. Got all of them. Oh, yep. Talking about Hydras doing tons of damage. Let's actually look. Hydras can do 18 damage each bite. It can bite us 8 times, so 18 times 8, that's 80. 80 plus 8 times 8 is 64. 80 plus 64 is 100, well above our life total. They have enough to kill us twice, maybe 3 times over. So we're not gonna trifle with that. We can lure the spawning frog though, because it's faster than the others, so it gets separated from the pack. Oh, once you're separated, we can deal with you fairly easily. We might have lost the Hydra. Yeah, looks like we lost them, so we're just gonna keep exploring and running away if we see them. There's that guy. Let's see if the Hydra is still nearby. Doesn't look like it. Okay, situation in Burned. We found another extra scroll, so let's read it. Oh, Scroll of Blinking. That is, in my opinion, one of the best panic buttons there are in the form of a scroll. That can instantly get us out of any hairy situation we're in. unlike a scroll of teleportation, it has no wind up, so you can just instantly get to anywhere within your line of sight, making things much, much safer for you. They're also, in my opinion, one of the most valuable, so usually end up not using them unless if I absolutely have to, but a good philosophy if you're new to crawl is that it's much better to live without consumables than to die with a bunch, meaning that use your consumables whenever possible. Whenever you're slightly nervous in a situation, it's much better to live. Your life is your most valuable consumable. Okay, just a pack of normal yaks. I'm gonna lure them over to the choke point over there. Throw some stones at them. It's probably about time to drop the stones. And I'm waiting for that to happen. Yep. Wait for them to box them in and then confuse them and finish them off. Let our ally do some of the fighting as we heal up. They're about to die though. Oh, we will poison them and then back away. Throw a couple more stones. 66. Let us try to dodge some spray, see if we can kill one, confuse the other. There we go. Situation dealt with. You can see how easily fights can turn sour when playing a Spriggan, especially against those larger groups of dangerous enemies. You can now drain nearby creatures when transferring your ancestor. That is pretty sweet. I haven't actually been looking at my abilities. Let's see what we got. We can recall ancestor, which brings them to us. We got the ancestor's identity, which lets us change the name and gender. Then we got a couple others. We got transference, which forces a target creature to pass through the realms of memory to exchange places with your ancestor. And with great piety, those near the target will be drained to a degree dependent on invocations. And we got idolize, which is what we just got, which allows us to restore your ancestors to an idyllic version of their best self. Their wounds are forgotten and a glow of perfection infuses them, giving them a short-lived but dramatic increase in strength, spellcasting, and armor. The quality of the healing and duration of the idealization granted and both improved by invocation skill. Now, we haven't really been training any invocations, in fact it's still at 0. However, now that evasion is up to 27, that means that stopping training dodging for now until we're ready to start on our first couple wounds, and we can now put it into invocations instead. Fighting we're gonna leave on a little longer, probably get to like 60 or so HP. With the Spriggan you don't get much HP, so you need to really maximize what you do get. There's another wolf pack there. Let's lure them into this hallway, and this allows us to use them to trap themselves as we just confuse them and then stab them, rinse and repeat. Well, that's an issue. What do we want to do? Probably quaff the agility and haste just for safety purposes. kill you first, and hopefully retreat forward, so you guys can now only attack me one at a time. And yeah, that looks like it did the trick. As I said, haste is a great panic button, as not only does it let you go faster, it also increases the swing speed of your weapon. Scroll of Enchant Weapon, we're gonna use that on our Dagger Venom. I really don't like just holding on to scrolls and never using them, so I tend to enchant the best weapon that I have at the moment, assuming of course it's a usable weapon. We have an elephant pack here, and I'm just trying to debate if I want to go in for the stabs and then just run away if there's an issue, as we got a lot of open space and we can easily lose them and through all that cleared space, then just wrap around and go down. Yeah, that actually sounds like a pretty decent plan. Yeah, they woke up, so we're gonna execute just that. Gonna retreat back and start wrapping around and going this way. And pretend we never saw them. We can recall our ancestor. There we go.